Yesterday ended very well. I got a ride just when it was getting dark by a nice German couple at the end of the trail back here to Paguera, and I was totally exhausted, so no more hiking in Mallorca on this trip. It's gonna be a day of cycling instead. So a little bit of an ad for Ride Mallorca. Easy accessibly available here in Paguera. 18 euros for one day. So it's gonna be an interesting, fun ride of just cycling around in the area. Oh, first uphill. Yesterday is taking a toll. Anyway, Paguera has a one-way street going right through it, so it's hard to go in the opposite direction unless you go around. So I decided to just go around the city, and so currently my direction is westward. I'm gonna connect back to Paguera first and then head towards Camp del Mar and Port Andratx, and then make my way from there to maybe Saraco and Andratx. And my day is plan is more or less to just cruise around and make a loop of some sort, so that I just get to see different places. So these are the last bits of last houses here on this main street of Paguera, headed west. So basically I just cycled around the town to join the main street where the buses go. So I got off the main road to see what this place called Camp del Mar looks like. It's a golf resort, and looks like it's more or less dead otherwise if you're not into playing golf. But let's see, let's give it a chance. It's a seaside town. Yeah, I wouldn't call it a town. It's more like a resort with hotels, and very small place with a beach and hotels. Okay, there's a supermarket here under the hotel, but not much life here. So unless you're a golfer, Camp del Mar might not be your destination. Camp del Mar. There you see the golf course. There you see that mountain that I went up on the other day. All right. So all golfers, if you're interested. So for you who like manicured landscapes, less wilderness, this is your place. I'm headed to Port Andratx now along this road. One thing you can count on in this end of Mallorca are hills. Even the moderate hills are heavy on a traditional bike. So if you don't like hills on a traditional bike, they have e-bikes. So get one of those. So this is what the bay of Camp del Mar looks like, taking the scenic route. So one thing you can count on is if you take the scenic route is you're definitely gonna have more hills and more winding roads, but you're gonna also have nice views. Every uphill is then rewarded with a downhill. So let's take a hyperlapse video of what this downhill looks like. So as you can see, I just came down to the seaside port town, Port d'Andratx, and yeah, been here before a couple times. Last time was a few days ago when the sun was setting down here after a day trek in the mountains that way. And yeah, nice to be in Port d'Andratx in the daytime. Not much wind, it's warm, even though water is warm if I wanted to go swim. But my plan is now to go over to the other side of this bay and cross that hill next. And no, sorry, I'm not planning to do that. I'm planning actually to go to Sarako, which is, yes, over some hills, but not these ones. This is a peninsula, so also this is the starting point for trekking, hiking to St. Elm, which I don't plan to cycle to today. You can see some people sailing out there. This is probably a good place to practice sailing. There's a sailing yacht club and a big harbor on the other side, so people who like boats and water sports, I think, tend to flock to this town. Wouldn't be surprised if you found a lot of Swedes and Norwegians here. If you don't know how to parallel park, then you shouldn't rent a car in Mallorca or anywhere in Europe actually. This is the club up close and the harbor. So now I'm headed that way. This valley area between Port de Andratx and Andratx is fairly even. So, except for the road here, back road, but for the most part the big roads are in good shape. And yeah, cycling here in the Andratx Valley poses no problems because it's mostly flat. Up ahead you see the mountain or mountains that I visited yesterday, and I'm glad to see that when it seems to be covered in a cloud today, I was very lucky to reach the summit and the peak yesterday when it was all cloud free. Okay, so here's the roundabout where you choose whether you're gonna go to Port Andratx, or to Saraco and Sant Elm, which is what I'm gonna do. The local bus also comes here. This road to Saraco and from Saraco to Andratx is basically mountain pass roads. So there's gonna be hills up and down between the mountains, but not as steep hills as those that I had to encounter when I was hiking. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go up this hill to go through the mountain pass to get to Saraco. And Saraco is a town in a valley, which means that it has mountain passes on all sides, all three sides, which one has to get through to get to the next valley. So Saraco is a town, small town situated in a valley with mountains on all sides. That means that you have to get through these mountain passes on one of the three roads leading to it to get to the town. And so there's always going to be some hill to get over when you go into town or leave town. If you follow that road, you get to a roundabout, which then leads to Sant Elm or into the town of Saraco. However, I'm planning to take this new road to me where I haven't been before, which leads directly to the center of Saraco without going via the roundabout. Here you get a bit of an idea of what the surroundings of Saraco looks like, with mountains on all sides. So I guess this road leads directly into the heart of the city. There you can see the church, and then this road connects to the main street that leads to Andratx. This is a very nice town. Small, quiet, calm little town. So if you like hiking especially, this is a good starting point for many hikes. At the end of the street you see the main street. Let's have a look at the church here. And the town square. It is Sunday, so there's probably some life in here, life around the church. Here we are on the main street of Sarako. Super charming. This town is in good shape and well maintained. Property values are pretty high, and here's one place you can stay, get a room. I don't know if it's a bed and breakfast or a hotel, but I think it's a bed and breakfast. Okay, now begin the hills again, so I'm gonna have to put the phone away a bit. It's a bit of a walk up and down the hills if you are going to the store. But it's a quiet neighborhood, and as you can see, very quaint. So Sarako is only 2 kilometers from Andratx, and you just have to take this winding road up the hill. This road right here is one to take if you're gonna go for a hike, let's say to Puig de ses Blases. So now I've arrived to the town of Andratx, and I'm not gonna go into the center because I'm just gonna pass through. I see a windmill and a watchtower up there on the hill that I haven't seen before, because this is the first time I'm actually on this road, going in this direction anyway. By avoiding going down into the center, I don't have to go into the valley and then cycle uphill again as much. Here we get to the side of the monastery, which I haven't seen before. One of the main sites. And it's a steep uphill, so gonna check this out. This looks like a good place to have a good view of Andratx. Here's a nice place to get a view over Andratx and Port de Andratx in the background. The monastery looks bigger than it actually seemed up close, but it's clearly anyway a landmark. And if this all looks very familiar, it's because we've been here before. The other landmark, the castle, in Andratx. And the tourism office is here as well. Nice courtyard. So now I'm gonna continue in that direction to Capellá, which I see a lot of cyclists are also traveling to and from in a loop. might recognize this as well from a previous video. Anyway, to get out of this valley where Andratx is, I'm gonna have to get through another mountain pass, which means climbing up some hills again. But it's nice to see familiar mountains where I've been recently. Up ahead, straight ahead. So this mountain pass road is very similar to the one in Saraco. It's a quiet, busy, quiet road. It's a quiet and not very busy road. And you can actually hear birds singing here. And see butterflies and flowers. So this is also part of Andratx in the outskirts, up in the hills. This is almost like a valley of its own behind Andratx. Much calmer. You can hear roosters, and I think the difference here on this mountain pass road is there's a lot more ascent and descent in this mountain pass. But if you like Saraco, then north of Andratx, this valley is also a nice, quiet neighborhood. There are basically only cyclists on this road. They have e-bikes. I don't. Whoever lives here has the most spectacular view over the whole valley, the mountains on each side, and then the sea and the port, the harbor. Basically everything you can imagine in one view. On the way to Capellá, I get to see some familiar mountain peaks again, namely Puig de Galazzo with the clouds on top, hiking area of yesterday. one trail could have led down to this way, and then there was another trail that could have led down to Capellá, which I didn't take. I decided to take the shortcut in order to reach Puig de Galazzo. Here's the winery. Growing local wines here. This valley obviously is a good soil and good conditions for growing wine grapes. It's not a very steep rise, but it is a constant rise, and then we go around to the other side of this valley. On the other side maybe it gets more steep until we get around that ridge. From there it should be downhill to Capellá. But here's a farm that we still go around. Beautiful day. 27 kilometers so far. It's not a very steep rise, but it is a constant rise, and then we go around to the other side of this valley. On the other side maybe it gets more steep until we get around that ridge. From there it should be downhill to Capellá. But here's a farm that we still go around. Beautiful day. 27 kilometers so far. Okay, so this EU sponsored road really helps out these rural conditions to have access to the bigger towns, and this is way cool, this mountain pass. Now I'm done with going uphill, and wow, what a view on the other side. It's a steep serpentine road turning at the end of the corner there and coming back this way. And Capellá town is down there. So this is the intersection if I wanted to turn back to Paguera, but I'm gonna continue now to Calvia from this town. This is where it's happening in this town, because it's, if I counted correctly from the map, this town has a total of 9 blocks in total. So here we have the town square. So if you remember Puig de Galazzo, at 1027 meters above sea level, then his starting point here from the town of Capellá. Just taking a little bit of a cruise around the town to get a feel. And it seems like now that it's Sunday, oh, have a look at all these orange trees here. Now that it's Sunday, then there's some special event in town. Maybe that's every Sunday, I don't know. Now there's an actual bicycle road leading to Palma. So getting closer to the bigger cities where there are more cars and greater need to separate cars and cyclists. So this is great. Even if you're staying in Palma and want to go cycle, maybe one doesn't have to be so nervous about the cars. Serra de Tratamontana, that's the mountain range, and this is the town Calvia. But hold on a second, this is a World Heritage Site. What am I missing? What do I not know? Let's Google it. Apparently Calvia has been a cultural center of sorts ever since the Bronze Age, 1800 BC forward, in all kinds of periods, and therefore this is a cultural heritage site, because there's from all periods, including Roman times, various historic remnants. And well, you look it up yourself. It's not a history lesson, this is a cycling trip now. Quaint little town. I think I'm beginning to see why this is a cultural heritage site. here's the history in a big mosaic, starting with the roots and telling it like a story in a form of a tree. To 1929, it seems as if is the most recent year mentioned in this mosaic. Made in 1986.
Dos, tres, cuatro y medio, ¡pam! ¿Sabes?
I was so hungry that I didn't have the patience to film the food when it was at its best, but anyway. Huevos rotos y jamón, fried egg and bacon and fried potatoes, fries. Perfect break here in Calvia. Really nice ambiance here.
Mola al principio que estás leyendo básicamente.
Next up, Palmanueva. This way. Leaving the town of Calvia. Super charming. So I just passed another mountain pass, and again ahead is a ride down. No bike lanes though, and obviously no side of the road to stay out either, so gotta stay focused on this ride. Coming through a couple of roundabouts, maybe 3 roundabouts, and now I'm in Palmanueva, which is a resort town as far as I can tell. So let's check it out. Palmanueva. I read that Palmanueva is one popular place for Swedes to invest and buy homes. As we can see, it's a beachside town. In the municipality of Calvia. And it's not very far away from Palma. This is the new Palma. Palmanueva seems very calm at this time of year when it's off season. Summer holidays are over and it's November 15th, no 16th today. It's Saturday and those people actually didn't go to church, by the way. Yeah, so there's seems to be like 3 different beaches in this bay area, and then there's this peninsula, Nueva or something like that, and then behind that is another beach and a resort called Magaluf. So I'll head there and check that out next. Here seems to be some kind of shopping center type of heart of the town. Here's the second beach. Nice with the trees that provide a bit of shade on the beach as well, if you don't want to be in the scorching sun all the time. So that's a nice feature of this beach. There's a nice, very nice promenade along the beaches, so for those who like to take walks. I would describe this as tourist hell in the summer, because it's probably just packed with tourists and no locals, and lots of tourist traps everywhere. So to each his own. This is perfect for families with kids, but not for me anymore. So Christmas decorations are being sold here. Various. There's more shopping, more shopping, more shopping. That's an interesting building. Here you can see restaurant after restaurant after restaurant. Of course, this is a great thing for the local economy. What you can tell though is that the season is completely over and almost everything is closed. This is the center of Magaluf, I believe, and all the shopping is closed. And I can imagine in the summertime this is a bustling place for people who like to party. Coyote karaoke. The beach is under construction, repair, but this is the famous or infamous Magaluf beach. Yeah, hard place for the Brits, I think. I think I will avoid this place like the plague. It is now 4 o'clock. It's been a leisurely cycling trip. Now they have karting here in Magaluf. So yeah, and roosters on the bike roads. Yeah, this is a bit too crazy for me. There's too much action. It's going to be too much adrenaline and drunk people in the summertime for me in this area. So to each his own or her own. And then we have not only roosters, but we have chicken. What did the chicken say before they crossed the road? Nice and chill anyway with the bike path here, walk path. This leads now to El Toro, and from there I'm gonna cycle via Santa Ponsa back to Paguera. In Finland we have reindeer on the roads, but here it appears to be chicken and roosters and hen. On my way to El Toro and passing through this small township here, which feels much more local, with local residences, less commercial. It's anyway nice for anyone who wants to go cycle on a easy day cycling trip, staying somewhere in Palmanueva, for instance. Then there's this bike road that seems to go all the way to El Toro at least, and can't imagine why it wouldn't go to Santa Ponsa as well. And as you can see, this is not a hilly road. It's a very flat lowland area at this end of the peninsula. Maybe it's a bit uneventful because it's a lot of straight paths, but if you have a friend to talk to, you won't really pay attention to the views. Speaking of views, this is a great viewpoint to see yesterday's two mountaintops that I went to. So those are the two biggest, tallest mountains in this area. in this part of Mallorca. So it's a good view, and like I said when I was up there yesterday, if I can see Palma from there, then you can see these mountains from Palma. So now I'm arriving in El Toro. El Toro, Costa de Calvia, so coastal town of Calvia municipality. Here's the bull himself. Here's the lookout point of this seaside town. Looks like El Toro has some bigger yachts here in the harbor. There's a nice beach protected by that pier and residential buildings. This area seems to be a very rich area. Makes sense, if you have yachts in the harbor, you have 5-star hotels and big residential buildings with huge homes. The downside here, of course, is there's not much happening here. Population density is low. Seems like jogging is popular here. Okay, so now we're leaving that El Toro behind and coming to the next area, and soon I'll be at that same place where I was earlier when I went running, and my turning point up ahead. So this was called the Andratx Islands. In my running video you can see how I came here and turned around at this point. So this is basically closing the loop of having explored this part of Mallorca, everything between Palmanueva and Sant Elm and Puig de Galazzo, almost this por Estelencs town. So all around the coast and also in the inland of Calvia and so on. Nice trip. There's a bike path that leads from Santa Ponsa all the way to Paguera. However, it's long steep hill, not steep but long hill, uphill, and it follows the motorway, so it's quite boring. But yeah, now I'm on the winning side because from here on out it's downhill, or just rolling down the hill to back to the starting point, back to where we started. That concludes this cycling trip. 63 kilometers, 6 hours on the road, active cycling 4 hours. So including lunch breaks and filming and all that, it was 6 hours. About 4 hours in total of cycling and 63 kilometers of cycling. And this also concludes my active holiday in Mallorca this year, 2024. It's been a great adventure, and yeah, I don't know how to end this. Thanks for watching.